Hi guys, so I thought I'd pop on this morning real quick and just give you a walkthrough in how I make mugwort ointment. To begin, just a couple of safety points. So if you're on medication, please double check with your doctor. Just make sure that there's not going to be any negative reactions there. And also, if you are pregnant, trying to get pregnant or breastfeeding, then please do avoid mugwort. It is a uterus stimulant, so it encourages menstrual bleeding and it can pass through into your breast milk. With that said though, mugwort is a good plant to start the poison path with if you're interested. Um, Everyone knows about belladonna and datura, and they are the heavy hitters, if you will. But mugwort is a good place to start if you're only just beginning out. And it is a good plant as well. It is traditionally associated with witchcraft, in particular with dream work. So that could be anything from astral travel, hedge crossing, that kind of thing. I also like to use it for just meditation as well. So it's an good all-rounder. It's also good to have in your medicine cabinet because it is antibacterial and antifungal. And it's good for itches, like when you burn yourself in the kitchen perhaps and it's healing and it gets all itchy. It's good to put on that. It's also good for bug bites too. So it's a good all-rounder to use. So this is mugwort. This is stuff that I've just got drying at the moment. It's nearly there. But as you can see, it is the closed flower buds we're using today. I do harvest the plant at all stages. It grows like all over where I live. So I use the leaf, I use the closed flower buds, I also use the open flower buds too. And you can use roots too for various things. But today it will be the closed buds. So first things first, you want to let it dry out for a few days because it's the water content in there that you're trying to get rid of. Because if you try and make your ointment with fresh plant matter, the water will spoil it and it won't last as long. And you won't get that nice texture that you want in either. So first things first, you want to just break it up a little bit, either in your mortar and pestle, or just with some scissors, or just even with your fingers, just crumble it up. You just want to break it up and loosen it up a little bit. The point is, you don't want fine plant matter. So just enough to loosen it up and get the stalks out. So the oil that I'm using today is just coconut oil and beeswax. Cheap enough to buy. There's loads of discount stores where you can get it from cheap. And beeswax off the internet, well cheap. You can buy it in blocks as well, but they do blunt your knives, I know from experience. So just little granules that you can pop in by the spoonful. You can also use shea butter. You can use any kind of oil really. And if the only oil you've got is your oil in your cupboard, that's fine too. The only difference is that it's runny as opposed to set. So that's the only difference. But don't think that you have to go out and buy loads of special stuff because you don't. So with the oils and the beeswax that I'm using today, you might want to just have a play about and try and get a texture that you are happy with. Sometimes I've made it with just the coconut oil, which I don't mind, but some people do find it a bit too greasy. So just play about with it. I generally use a mixture, that's it melted down. And it is about just sorry, I very rarely measure anything out, even in my cooking as well. If I'm following a recipe for the first time, then I'll measure it out. And for those of you who do want an exact recipe, I'll find one and pop it in the video description. But generally speaking, I use slightly more of this than I do this. So it's just over half of this and then just under half of this. But like I say, have a play about, find the texture that you like. I have quite dry skin, so I don't mind it a bit more greasier. It's personal choice, really. So what you want to do is, just in a pan of water on your hob, pop your ingredients into a jar and let them melt if you're using stuff that needs melting. And then once it's melted, it is literally just a case of popping your plant matter into there. So what you want to do is you want enough plant matter where the oil is literally just going to cover it. Just pop that in there. Bear with. There you go. So that's it with the mugwort all in. Hope you can see that clearly enough. It looks a bit grim, and as it simmers slowly, it'll probably smell a bit grim too. So basically that's it. Now with that, I will just sit the lid on loosely, because that's going to go in my slow cooker now when I go out to work all day. If you don't have a slow cooker, then you can just sit it in a pan of water on a real low heat, like the lowest possible that your hob will go on. If you're doing that method, please make sure that you're at home. You know, and then you just let it simmer. I leave it in my slow cooker for around 10 hours, depending. And then it's just a case of straining it out. You will need to kind of do it when it's still hot, because you don't want it to set with the plant matter still in there. So you want to do it when it's still hot. And then just strain it out, pop it into a clean, sterilised jar. You can sterilise your jars just by popping them in the oven and then turning the oven on, or just in boiling water, whatever's easiest for you. And then that's basically it. You strain it out, pop it in your jar, label it up, and then it's good to go. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you found it useful. See you again soon. Bye.